Bill Carroll for Zinni 62 Media, and as I've said before, and I'll say it again, everybody, worships at the temple that is talent when you are in the talent, evaluation business, when you are a scout, when you are an evaluator. But the thing that gets me is production, consistent production, particularly. So I'm going to start with a player who is now a sixth-year senior, and we're finally getting the last of the COVID-19 players sort of out of the pipeline. But at Wisconsin Lacrosse, which is a top-tier Division III program, Jack Studer, I wonder if he's related to my friend Mark, but Jack Studer is a guy who has, didn't do a lot his first couple of years, but from his junior year forward, both of his junior years forward, and now in his second senior season, he's about, I'm going to say about 6'1", maybe 6'1 and an eighth, about 204 pounds. He's going to run, I'm guessing around 4.59. Anything better than that is a win. Obviously, because he's playing at the level which he's playing, he can run away from people, but he doesn't have to. He's got enough size and good enough hands and smart enough and understands football at a high enough level that if he has to compete with guys who are even superior athletes, he can still do so. That's the thing about sort of projecting on tape, and people talk a lot about how hard it is to project when guys play at a lower level. I don't think it's as hard as people make it out to be. When a player is truly dominant, first of all, that helps. And he dominated. He flat out dominated last year. So, to put it in perspective, in 13 games last year, 69 receptions, 1,567 yards. I don't know how you slice that up and not come away with your mind a little bit blown. 22.71 yards per reception. And like I said, maybe that part doesn't translate to a higher level just because he's not going to run away from people quite the same way. He's in that 4.57 to 4.62, 4.63 maybe range, maybe a little faster. Like I said, if he runs faster than that, it's a big win. But he's not going to dominate quite the same way if he's playing at Division II or FCS or obviously not FBS. But he's going to produce. Maybe it's half that number, right? Maybe it's, 14.4 yards per reception. Maybe it takes him a few more catches. Maybe he ends up topping out at 800 or 900 yards, but he's a good enough player that there's not a level of college football where he wouldn't be able to play. And you can tell yourself otherwise, but great players, and we see this, right? We see guys, especially with the transfer portal, guys coming up from Division III, Division II, Van Ginkel, right, and other guys. We just saw Cody Schrader come up from D2. Guys are transferring up from various levels and showing that they can produce. The dominant players can produce. So watch out for Jack Studer. Wisconsin Lacrosse is going to be good again this year because they're always good again. They're going to probably make a deep playoff run, and I urge you, if you don't watch any other D3 football, watch the D3 playoffs. And are 99.7% of the guys you're watching guys that won't even get invited to a camp? Yes. But watch for the .3, and he's one of them. And once again, I could see him at NFL PA or College Gridiron Showcase or possibly even East West Shrine Game. And then another really productive player playing at a slightly higher level of competition is a player that I really, really like also, and I'll sort of touch on him. Elijah Williams of Morgan State is a guy that is an absolute beast of a player. And first of all, size. That's the first thing. He's legitimately about 6'2 and a half, 6'2 and 5/8 maybe, and legitimately 268 or so pounds. Kid from Jersey City, went to Lincoln High School, had a terrific high school career. And unlike Mr. Studer, he's a normally aged prospect. He will turn 22 on September the 9th, which means Virgo Power activate. But nicknamed Tay, he is a player who is expected to graduate on time in this coming May. He is a guy that's a hard worker. Natural talent's there, but he's really worked his way up, worked on himself. Played at Lincoln High School. His last year there, in 10 games as a senior, had 74 tackles, 57 of them solo. That's 5.7 tackles per game as a defensive end, and Also managed to, basically be a team leader all the way around. Finds his way to Morgan State as a freshman, plays. In fact, starts every game. Finished as the third leading tackler on the team. Had 52 tackles and 7 tackles for loss as a freshman, fresh, clean out of the box, no redshirt year. Also had 4 sacks and led the team in quarterback hurries. Then his sophomore year in 2022, makes all MEAC first team. That was the attention, right? That was when he caught my attention. That's what I thought, okay, this guy's a shot. Phil Steele made him his all MEAC first team. He made my all HBCU second team that year. Made all box to rows, honorable mention All-American, had 60 total tackles, 33 of them solo, 27 assists. Also had 19 tackles for loss. This is a 19-year-old sophomore. He had a tackle for loss every year of his life that year. It was number 5 in the FCS, number 13 in sacks, and had 9 sacks to go with that, 10 other tackles for loss that year. Just absolutely monster games, including his 2-sack game with 9 tackles total against a very good NC Central team. And then, of course, last year. And once again, FCS players do not tend to come out early unless, well, something's going on or they have an amazing, amazing year and, of course, test super well. I think he'll probably test well enough, probably in the 4.8 range, mid, maybe, hopefully low 4.8, maybe faster, but I'm guessing about mid 4.8. Probably going to have about a 33 inch vertical. Probably going to run a good 3-cone, though, and probably going to have a good short shuttle. But back to last year. Was a Blue Bloods, 3rd-team All-American, Phil Steele, MEAC all first team, 50 total tackles, including 21 solo tackles. I like that number to flip. I like them to have about 21 assists and more like 29 solos. But still, 11 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, forced a fumble. 2, in fact, forced fumbles. With everybody game planning for him. By this point, when you're playing Morgan State, you're beginning and ending every offensive meeting, especially offensive line meetings, with talking about Elijah Williams. Elijah Williams is a legitimate NFL prospect. And if he does test well, first of all, it's hard to definitively predict because we've seen Isaiah Land and Marquise Bell and other terrific HBCU products not get drafted. But if he tests well, he should get drafted. Once again, consistent production from, with the old coach's saying, if a dog will bite, it'll bite you as a pup. Well, he bit you as a pup. He is going to play and play well immediately, even if he's not an immediate starter at the next level. He's a player that I believe has an excellent chance. Those are my 2 players, and I'm going to work on 2 more for you. Tell me what you think. I'm going to keep working through this for the next few weeks, and then the season will be upon us. Once again, Bill Carroll is in Wisc Media, and I will see you again very soon.